Good morning, everyone. Is everyone ready for REDCap? It's nice and bright and early. Everyone got their coffee. So we're going to do something a little bit different today because we're learning about tools. We're trying to see what kind of tools we can use today. So I'm going to kind of give a brief introduction to REDCap. And then after that, we're going to really kind of go in and just use those tools. I'm going to actually show you guys some hands-on work so that way you guys can go back to your desk and really use it. So what is REDCap? It is a research electronic data capture system. Guess what? You guys can use it anywhere. It's on the web. It is great for surveys and data entry forms. It is no limit to the number of users you can put into the REDCap system. I have to stay over here. We also have an unlimited number of questions. So this is great. We're developing research here. We're growing as an institution. We want to be able to say, I want to do a study and I might have 10, but I might have 10,000. So this gives us that option to really expand that and open that horizon. Some important things to know about REDCap, that it is secured behind a firewall for us. Access rights are based on individuals. All of you can have your own personal access. So you might have a team of 500 and each individual needs their own access. Or maybe you have access based on different sites. You want to do a multi-center. So you have OSU and you have Michigan. Each of them can have their separate access. So this is really important to be able to limit who can see what data. REDCap is backed up every day on a server. So if you come to me and say, Amy, I accidentally deleted something, I'm going to say, that's okay. Calm down. It's not your Excel document that you deleted. We can bring this back for you. So this is a nice option that you guys have that is constantly being backed up for you. There is no licensing for you guys. You guys get to use the REDCap absolutely free. Yes, free. It is available to every single one of you free. The only thing is, if you need help, that's when you need the cost. But I can teach all of you guys how to use REDCap. So it is installed at over 2,000 institutions. 2,000. And that is not just here in the United States. That's across the world. All right, so this is where we're going to have a lot of fun today. So I put a list of administrative tools up here. Calendars, data export reports, data import tools, data comparison, logging, file repository, user rights, e-signatures, randomizations, data quality, APIs, and REDCap Mobile. I'm going to take you guys into all of these, and we're going to really dig in to how can we use these tools that REDCap provides us. All right, so I am at my projects. When I log in, has anyone in here used REDCap before? Can I show of hands? Some of you guys? Great. So, when I log in, my first thing I come to is my projects and my home page. If I click on my home page here, I can get to both of these. Why am I pointing this out? If you've ever sat down with me, the most important thing on your home page is your code book. Why is our code book such a useful resource? I've been collecting data for the past 10 years, and we've had multiple people turn over in our department, and I don't remember what race equals. What is that female? Is she going to be a 1 or is she going to be a 2? And I don't want to have to go dig in the database to find this. Your code book provides all of this information for you. This is also a nice resource if you want to do a multi-center and you decide, hey, can you kind of follow the same pattern that we're going? Will you just use our code book and use that? They can use that same tool set to follow through. We also have on the home page other useful resources. We have the Manage Survey Participants. I can go straight to a URL link and I can open a survey. I can customize my own surveys. Not only do I get to open it straight from here, but I can take this and customize it. I want it to be go.osu Amy. That's going to be in my new REDCap link. But I can do all of these great things to customize to make my end users want to fill it out. We also have QR codes. The QR codes allow you to scan them. These are great for clinic. What if you're in clinic and your patients start just scanning? Yeah, I want to be part of that trial. They have it right there on their phone and they can go. In your surveys, you also have participant lists. Now, I'm going to give you some very important information about these participant lists. Ooh, I got loud there. The participant list is a way to control who has completed your survey or not. So if you are working with staff and you want to make sure that all 50 of your staff complete the survey, you want to go through your participant list. This will allow you to send them reminders to make sure that they follow through on actually completing that participant list. This is a nice way for you to track when they completed it, who you sent it to, so you can continue to follow up. Your survey invitation log allows you to see when surveys were sent and at what time they were sent. You can see I have an exact date and time. And my most important thing on this one is, again, the email. Who did it go to? Did I put .osumce.u? Did I mess up somewhere on that email? This allows you to see that. So those are all on your project homepage under your Manage Survey Participant. But this isn't the only spot to get to it. REDCap has done a nice job to where you can also get to it right here under your Manage Survey Participants. So you can see that we have a pattern as we follow down. The next thing I want to take you guys to is the calendar and scheduling. So scheduling. This is great for someone that's doing a research study and they want to actually know exactly plus or minus 7 days when their treatment is due. We could go in here, we could generate a schedule, and we could see our plus and minus range is all set up for us. We have a schedule, and we can actually create that schedule. Now we have a printable schedule for that patient to take home to know when they are due for their research. We can modify this schedule, we can edit it, we understand things change, and we can make sure that that comes to the patient. But what if you're out that week and someone's covering for you? Wouldn't it be great to be able to go in and see, oh, that's who's coming in today, that's what they're due for, they need labs and vitals, and then they're done. So this is a nice way that you can keep track of who's doing what in the system. I'm going to go back up here and go to your record dashboard. Now, if anyone's used REDCap, the record dashboard is the most commonly thing that they use to find their situations, or find their patients, not situations, find their patients. But not many people understand that you can actually customize and go through all of them if you want, and actually display how you want it to display. The custom dashboard also has a little legend up here. This is important. The check marks are for surveys. If you do not have a check mark there, it is not a survey. Well, what does that mean? That goes back to your user rights. If you don't have access to actually editing a survey, you're never going to be able to edit that survey. So that could come to a problem if you need to make changes on it. All right, so data export, that's what we're all wanting to know, right? Who doesn't want to know how we can get all of our data out after we work so hard to put it in? So REDCap has two major features. You can export all of your data at once. When you do that, you will get a report, and you look at this report. Now, I had this come across the other day. This report is called labeled. This means that the data is actually labeled and written out for you. This is very important to know that because you cannot import labeled data into REDCap, but you can import raw data. So REDCap does provide you with a feature to actually export in raw, labeled, SPS, SAS, R, and STAT. Now, when you use the SPS, SAS, R, and STAT, it will actually dump right into your software on your computer. So this is something that makes it easy. You don't have to export it and then re-import it into your program. On the right-hand side, there is actual de-identifying options. This is great if you want to share your data and you don't want it to be identifiable. So you can actually pull those identifiers out and actually use it that way. When you are actually exporting with surveys, if you want a survey identifier on there, you can have that removed or you can have it kept on. The same goes for data access groups. So these are all of your surveys for everything. But what if you want to do I want a chart review, I want to put it on a paper real quick, last minute I got a presentation together. We can actually go in here and select an instrument and we can actually get graphs. Now, this is not a statistician. I do not want you to think of it that way, but I want you to know that it's available for you to see what's there. So you can actually see your graphs. It does give you percentages, but again, please use your statistician. But then you can also see it gives you pie charts, and it will break all of your graphs down. It will plot as well for you if you would like plotting. So these graphs are nice that you can just snag them right out, put them in your ProStir paper, and then you have your information available for you. This data in this export tool for A is updated every time you save a record. So you might be working on it, and someone else might be pulling reports out of it, those are going to constantly change as you're adding information. Section B, this is where I can customize my export. What do I want to get? I want someone that is a male. I want someone that's greater than 18, less than 50, and they have been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I can do all of that in this report. Now I have customized that. Now I only want it from OSU, and I only want it from their baseline. I don't want to see anything after that. I can customize those features and actually run reports off of that. I can make as many reports as I want. We do not have a limit. So you might have 50, and they're all on them, but we might get to have all of those reports. So that is all of your data quality. It is on your left-hand side, data export. It's on the left-hand side of your paper if you ever, or your page if you ever want to know. What about data import? So data import is really becoming popular now. Data import allows you to import data from information warehouse, from you've been collecting it on an Excel for the past 10 years. I won't listen, I promise. You can tell me. And you want to import all that data into REDCap. This is possible. We can do one big swoop into REDCap and have it done. It does provide you with a data import table. Remember, it does have to be raw values. So when you actually go in to put in there, I would put, my 900 numbers all here. I would put that this is baseline, and I'm going to put all of my data in there. So I can do one big swoop of data into this database. One important thing to know about a data import. When you import data, every time you import new data, it could overwrite the old data you've done. Correct? So you have to remember when you're importing your data that that single identifier is actually identified so you don't overwrite your data. We also have logging. Logging is one of my favorite things. I think it should be the IRB's favorite thing too, because we know exactly what's going on. So you tell me that, hey, I worked till midnight last night on that project. I was doing a great job. I'll go in and be like, she did. She actually worked till 12:02. Good for her. But no, I can actually go in and see when people are working on it. I can nail them down by the names. But what if my patient calls me and is like, I promise I did that record. I know exactly when I signed it. I did everything on survey last night. I can go in and look. I can be like, you are right. You did do that. Or we've had people say, Amy, the data's not there anymore. Where did it go? We can go and find out what's going on. This tracks everything in your project for you. Absolutely everything. We also have a file repository. This is a great tool to store your IRBs, store your protocols. Well, why do you ask? I'm doing a multi-center, and how many people want to know if that other institution finally updated their protocol, if they finally did their submission right, if they made sure that everything was done with your protocol on the same basis? This is where we can use that. We can use the file repository. We can have them upload all of their documents here, and we can keep track as a big study, as a collaborator working together. User rights. So I told everyone to get your own user rights because you feel special, right? I feel special when I have my own user rights. So user rights allows you to customize each individual user. I can set expiration dates. So you have a student that's working with you that you know that's going to leave at the end of the year. I can set them to be expired. I can give people access to designing my projects or not. A lot of times I give one person on the project user right access. That eliminates all that, oh, should they have this or should they have that? Data access groups. That's giving that OSU or Michigan. What about data exporting? This is big. Do you want all of your data entry people to be able to export all identifiable data? No. You want certain people. You want your statistician to be able to export that. You don't want all of the people to be able to have access to all of your data. What about adding and editing reports? Yes, I want my data entry person to be able to do that, but my statistician doesn't need to add or edit any reports. The stats charts. What about calendars? Well, my data entry people really need to know that calendar so they can see what's going on. And data imports and comparisons. So you can see we have all of these different options, the same that are underneath your application, and how we can customize each user. But on the right-hand side, this takes it a step further. These are all of your instruments. These are all of your forms that you created. Maybe you want someone to have access to it, but maybe you don't. Maybe they're not going to be filling in that form at all. This is where we can customize that to where they can fill in the form. If you want to give them edit rights to surveys, they can have that edit right survey option. Not everyone needs it, but there are people. The data coordinator got a phone call from a patient. I didn't mean to hit no, I meant to hit yes. Well, they can go back in and change that for them and edit that. So your user rights are a great tool to be able to use in REDCap. So if you came to me and said, Amy, I want access to REDCap, the first thing you're going to get is no projects because you haven't been added to a project. So it's very important to know what projects do I want to use to be able to have access to this project. I keep getting in trouble. All right, so let's go on down to our next one here, and we're going to go to record locking. So record locking is a way to lock your record after you've completed the data entry. So I've completed all my data entry. Now I'm going to have someone go back behind, double check my work, and say, yes, I confirm this. I'm going to lock this record. So this is a nice way of not letting anyone else into that record. The data's been confirmed and it's clean. What about e-signatures? What if I want every time that the PI goes into my project, says, yes, lock that, to have a signature for him? I want his actual e-signature in there to lock it so that no one else can have access to it. Randomization. Does anyone in here randomize? No one randomizes in here? Oh, wow. So randomization is a way for you guys to randomize between two different treatments. If you have treatment A and treatment B, we don't always know which one we want to go to. We can do that in multiple ways. But REDCap allows you to randomize. Better get back over here. It allows you to randomize by stratifying or randomizing by group and site. Now, I will talk to you about randomization. I will tell you how to set it up, but I will not tell you your allocation table. I will tell you to either talk to a statistician so you can know how to set that allocation correctly because there's so much important stuff, and I want you to have a good study to be able to make sure that you get the right numbers. It does provide you with an example allocation table. There is no doubt you have your 3 examples. You can use those. But like I said, please, please, please use a statistician. At the bottom of it, you can upload it. You can test your randomization. You want to test it in development, make sure it randomizes correct? Yes, you can do this. But I had this come up once. REDCap was down. Someone got stuck on a randomization. Amy, I need it to randomize. What do I do? Please always have a backup of your randomization with your statistician if you're working with them or with someone on your team to have that backup to be able to do, because I don't ever want to put anyone in that situation. Data quality. So REDCap has 2 options here. We can use our data quality where I can send out queries. This is great if you're doing a multi-center study and you are the hub and you want to query other people, or I can go and do a comments. To do a query, we hit execute, and it tells me exactly how many people or how many discrepancies I have. You can see it breaks it down by data access group, so I can go, up, Penn, you're not doing very good, you need to get those queries better, and I can actually view. And when I view it, it's going to tell me exactly everyone that's missing data. So I can go in here, hit comment, and I can open a query and have it sent to that person. Please complete. Once it's open, I will have it go up to my top, and now we have 2 issues that need resolved in this query. So when that person logs in next, they're going to see that they have a query listed under here. So this is a nice way of managing and keeping your data nice and clean. There's also a metrics. Isn't it nice to know how fast you're responding to your work and how great you're doing your job? Let's get a little backslide, a little applaud for it. Well, we can see that. We can see how wonderful you're doing your job, how quick you're answering those queries. And it actually documents that for us. We also have a REDCap mobile, and I'm going to go back to the API here in a second. So REDCap mobile. Well, didn't I tell everyone that REDCap was web-based before, right? Everyone remembers that. Well, REDCap mobile is the opposite. REDCap mobile allows you to take your project on a tablet, go out in the field, and actually collect that data and then sync it back up once you have internet access. How awesome is that? So I could be down in the Appalachian Mountains, have no internet access, and I can collect that data. That's wonderful. That's no papers are on, leaving on the sea. Oh, I lost that consent. Oh man, that's awesome to have that. So this is a great way to use the REDCap mobile. We also have an API. This allows for you to actually collect data into REDCap and push it out of REDCap. This does not work with IHIS. No one get any ideas. So right now it doesn't go with IHIS. We cannot dump data into REDCap directly from IHIS. I hate that, but not any ideas yet. We also want to go into your project setup because there's a couple tools in here that I'm not sure if everyone knows about. So in your questions, we have an option that you can do a signature line. You can do a signing in here. Now, is IRB approved? I don't know. That's all on yours. But is it available for you guys to use? Yes. There is a signature feature that is available. But you have to use your IRB and make sure that it gets approved to actually use it. There's also a calculated field option in here. And then one of my favorites is that you guys can upload videos. You can upload pictures. Maybe you want to do an example on how to do a dressing change. You can have all of that in there as a survey for a participant that they can take when they get home. So these are all the great features inside for your REDCap. I'm going to go back to my survey. Does anyone have any questions about all these? Is anyone overwhelmed? No one's overwhelmed? Score. All right. So we're going to go back in here because I want to show you something that's new and coming. All right. So new coming features. So I have in here is repeatable events. So we have a REDCap upgrade coming soon. And I wanted to get all of you guys excited so you knew about these upcoming features that are coming because we are going to be able to repeat events and instruments. Well, what does that mean for me? Maybe I have a family of 6 that I want to collect all of their data on one person. I want to know their family tree. I want to be able to track it all. I can collect for this person ID, I have 8 family members down here. So this allows me to collect all of those multiples. What if I have a toxicity form that every time they come in, I want to add a different one, add a new toxicity? This allows me to continue to add those and add an event, and constantly not have to add all of those rows. So this is a great way of limiting your amount into one. But what about those events that are, oh, this popped up, it was an unscheduled event, they're just going to come in today, I need to redo everything. I need to do all their labs, all of their everything. I can go over here and I can repeat these again. So these are 2 big things that are actually coming in our upgrade. The second one down is exporting and importing in XML. If anyone works in XML and they love working in that, REDCap is going to allow you to import and export with it now. And this is a great feature to be able to help our users. REDCap shared library. So I told you guys that we had over 2,000 institutions using REDCap. REDCap has a library that allows you to use and interface with. There's over 1,500 forms in their shared library. 1,500. You would be amazed on the different things in there. There's your demographic forms. There's your surveys, your quality of life. All of those are available in there, and you can edit them. So you don't have to say, I don't like that form just because of one question. I can bring that form into my project in less than 15 seconds, and I can edit it. Isn't that great? That just saved me 2 hours of work. I love it. What about online training? Well, if you don't come to any of my trainings, because I do monthly training, REDCap has an online training. All of these videos, if you click on them, have a PDF after each one of them. So if you don't have time to watch the video, or if you're like, I have to be quiet, I'm in the library, I can't listen to this loud video, then go ahead and read through the PDF that it's available for you too. We do have the hands-on training. We have an intro to REDCap coming at the end of the month. These trainings that we do, you come, we learn, we talk, we discuss, and we try to help you and educate you to learn how to do your own projects. I want to teach you guys how to use this wonderful tool that's available for you. So we have the intro coming up at the end of July. We have an advance, And then we also do project specific. Maybe your team needs, a training just on your projects. We can also do that. How do I get REDCap? Well, to get REDCap, anyone here heard of CORE? CORE? One person? That's all I get for CORE? So CORE is a computerized research record. This is how you will get REDCap. You select REDCap on search. But since no one in here has heard of CORE, I really feel like I should show you guys some CORE. I'm going to teach you 2 things today. This is so exciting. So to get to CORE, you go to researchrecord.osu.edu. Write this down. This is important for your research. When you guys work with research projects, you will need to log in with either your ID or your OSU, either one. And it will come up with creating a new project. Once you put your title in and your description, you will have a new project. I'm going to pull up some projects so you guys can see what a project would look like. So once you have your project, it will have your title, it will have your description. This does not take long. It will have everyone on your project, but the most important is, how do I request services for my project? How do I use my project to get me to where I need to? Because this university is massive. It's huge. There's a lot of resources available to you guys, and we want to make sure that you can get to all those. So all you have to do is type in REDCap, and your REDCap services come up. You say add service and request. If you wanted to do information warehouse, you could do that as well. Information warehouse, request the service, and it's there. So this is your tool. This is how you guys are going to get all of those useful resources to actually select and come for you. All right. And then I have cite and submit. Does anyone have any questions?